Hello everyone and welcome back to DC Central, and in today's video we're going to be doing a little bit of a fun one. I've wanted to do this for a little while now, but I thought now seems as good of a time as any. Just before the show's fully come back in full swing, I'm going to do my ranking of all 5 of the Flash suits that we have seen on the TV show, starting from Season 1 all the way up to the current one we have in Season 6. And just remember, before we dive into this is just my personal ranking. This is just how I personally feel about each of the suits. Make sure you leave your own ranking in the comments down below. And with all that out of the way and all that said, let's jump into the ranking. So kicking off my list, we have the Season 5 suit. Now Season 5, for me, this suit is just kind of a mess. I mean, it's not completely a mess. Like, to be honest, when you look at the whole bottom of the suit and the actual body section of the suit itself, it's actually alright, and it's not a far cry from what we have in Season 6. The actual body of the suit looks fine. It's actually alright. It's quite nice, actually. It's the headpiece that throws this entire suit off. There was this whole debate going on in Season 5, but in the run-up to the season, and also during the season, which was whether or not the Flash should have a cowl or anything like that, or also a chin strap. And obviously this isn't a cowl typically, like it isn't the same style of cowl that we had been used to, and also this suit doesn't have a chin strap, and it was a very big difference. And even though it's such a small little detail, it made a really huge effect on the suit overall. This suit just looks off. Like, it looks weird when it's moving around. It doesn't look good in action or in photos. It's just one of those suits. I remember when the first photo of this came out and it leaked. I remember just fan outrage. People were not happy about this, and I remember even doing it on a video, and I remember doing the podcast and things like that, saying this suit looks dreadful. Like, the leak was just awful. And then I remember Grant Gustin came out and did a separate photo of him without the mask on, and again, without the mask, this suit actually looks really nice. Especially like in the Elseworlds crossover, there's many different scenes where Grant is wearing the suit without the helmet, and also where even like where Steven's wearing it without the helmet and stuff like that, and it looks quite good actually. But when it has that helmet on, it's just ridiculous. It's this bike helmet shaped design, which kind of has this weird sort of really thin cowl that you can't really see beneath it, and it just completely throws the entire suit off, and it just looks horrendous at times. And I don't know why they really went with this design. I think it was something to do with the comfort of it and trying to make it better for Grant, which, you know, is understandable. You know, he is your lead actor, but it's just at the same time, I think the design really suffered with that, and it just didn't come across well on the screen at all. Coming in at number 4, we have the Season 1 suit, the original OG suit. This one has a special place in my heart, really. I mean, it's just the original suit. It's, you know, it looks still great today, in my opinion. I think if this suit was still used, it'd be good. Like, they actually used this suit in the Season 5 premiere, and it looked really good there. I think this suit just looks really nice. I mean, it has a really good design. The colors are really nice. I actually am a big fan of the darker red used on these Flash suits, and particularly in these early seasons, and I really enjoy the darker red on this one. I think it looks really good, especially because at this point the Arrowverse was still kind of finding its feet in the sense of expanding as a universe and trying to find its feet as in, you know, whether it wanted it to be super comic booky or whether it wanted to be a bit more grounded. And obviously at this point in time they were trying to make it a bit more attainable and a bit more realistic for most people, and that is why we saw this suit with these kind of darker red colors. The thing that's kind of off-putting about this suit, though, even though I think it's a solid design, the cowl's great, I just think that the Flash symbol in the middle of the suit, obviously with the yellow lining and the red, is a bit much. Like, it's a bit too much red. Like, this suit is just a bit too much red all over. It doesn't have enough color distinction to really kind of separate out the colors and to make it a bit more easy on the eyes. I think it's a bit of a red overblow, but it's not too bad. And again, I think that this suit, it's a nice throwback, and I just think that overall it was a good suit for the time. It was a great suit for Season 1. It just hasn't exactly lived up to some of the other suits that we've had since. Coming in at number 3, we have the Season 2/Season 3 suit. This was the only suit that lasted more than one season. This suit I actually really like. I mean, this is essentially the same as the Season 1 suit, but it is got a different logo in the middle. They obviously changed it from red to grey, which is much, much better. It just looks far more distinct and far more you know, just far more identifiable than the suit. I just prefer this grey logo rather than the red one. It just looks far better to me. And, you know, it keeps that same solid design from the first season's suit. It just makes a few tweaks to the cowl as well to make it a bit more rounded, a bit more better. It just looks a bit more comfortable. It looks a bit more well suited for this particular suit. So I think that the Season 2, Season 3 suit, you know, it lasted more than one season for a reason, which that rhymes, but it's just, it lasted more than one season for a reason, because it was a very solid suit, and again, I still think it fits very well within the show for its tone. Coming in at number 2, I'm going to go with the Season 6 suit, the most current suit. This suit is very popular with a lot of fans. I mean, I've noticed a lot of people actually have this as their number 1. And I can see why. Like, this suit is definitely the most comic book accurate suit we've had. It's a lot more latexy than the previous suits we've had. It does follow a lot of the same design choices that the Season 5 suit had, particularly in the body. Like, the body is essentially the same, except we have these, like, really nice gold linings and really nice gold stripes down the side of it, which just adds so much detail. It looks really nice. It's a big upgrade from the Season 5 body. But, you know, it did well on the Season 6 suit what the Season 5 suit did wrong, which is it fixes the cowl. Now, I still don't love the cowl on this suit. That's why I don't have it at number 1. I don't love the cowl. I think it still looks a bit silly, and I think the eye placement is a bit off. It just seems like it's a bit odd in action. Like, when you look at him, like especially when you look at like Crisis, for example, when you see Flash lined up with the other heroes, his helmet and his cowl, it just looks off to me. Like, it looks a bit off-center. Like, the eyes aren't quite where they're meant to be. The shape of it is weird. The wings are very strange. I mean, I get that, again, it is more comic book accurate and the wings are a bit longer, but I think it throws the sort of dimensions of the suit off, if that makes sense. It just doesn't really look right to me, but this suit is still great overall. Again, I can look past the cowl. I don't hate it or anything like that. I just don't particularly love it. But I think the gold lining on the suit really helped. The gold belt looks fantastic. If only this suit had gold boots, it would practically be perfect. So I'm hoping maybe for Season 7, Season 8, we might actually get, you know, the gold boots on this suit, because I know Eric Wallace and Grant Gustin have been speaking about it. So hopefully we can see a suit where they can maybe take this design and then just fix the cowl a little bit, give it the gold boots, and we may have the perfect Flash suit for the show. My number 1, though, has to go to the Season 4 suit. I adore this suit. Now, while this may be possibly, arguably, the worst season of The Flash, this suit was absolutely stunning. I remember seeing this in Season 3, obviously when they kind of teased it, when we saw the future Flash, and I remember just loving it there, but it was kind of difficult to make it out in that episode because it was very dark in those scenes. But here, we get to see it completely entrenched, and it is beautiful. Like, the red, it took the darker red tones from the previous suits but brightened them up a little bit. Like, it wasn't like the same bright red that we have in Season 5 and 6, but it was still a really nice middle ground between the old and the new. Also, the chest piece looked fantastic. Like, I know a lot of people complain that it was baggy and that's why they kind of got rid of it, but I honestly think if you would have stuck with the suit for Season 5, which I definitely think they should have done, I think you could have fixed that and you could have really shortened that down, because the actual chest piece itself looked really nice. It looked tactical. It looked really well fitting. It looked like it was actually designed for this world, and the colors of it look fantastic. The cowl they basically kept the same, which I didn't have a problem with. I still think that's the best cowl they've ever done, is the Season 2, 3, and technically 4 suit, because again, the Season 4 suit did borrow that same cowl. And I just think that this suit, in the daylight pictures in particular, like, there were a few episodes that were just set in the day where Flash was out in the day, particularly the episodes where he was out fighting with Ralph when Ralph was in his early days. Beautiful stuff. Like, just a really stunning suit, and I really wish this would have lasted more than one season, because again, I think that if we would have gotten this in Season 5 rather than the Season 5 suit, I think it just would have made a big improvement. And again, it would have given this suit one more season to live, which I think it deserved, because again, I still think this is the best suit to date. Season 6 has come close, which is why it's my runner-up, but again, I do have issues with the cowl and things like that, and it is missing a couple little elements, whereas this suit for me was perfection. Like, I loved this suit, especially, like, you know, when you look at him in Crisis on Earth X, when he was fighting alongside with Oliver and the other heroes and the Legends, he just looked so great. Like, this suit was just perfect through and through for me, and I don't know if they'll ever top it. I hope they do. Again, if they make these improvements to the Season 6 suit I mentioned earlier, like the golden boots and fixing the cowl, they may top it, but for right now, my top spot has to go to Season 4. So there you have it, guys. There's my ranking of all 5 of the Flash suits. Make sure you leave your ranking in the comments down below. Which one's your favourite and why? Whatever you want to say, let me know in the comments down below. And as always, guys, if you want to see more DC content like this, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any videos from me. And I hope to see you guys again next time.